Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. Guys, tomorrow is a massive day. Today we had a solid close across the board, but tomorrow is a big day. Intraday and in the after hours, we have FOMC at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a rate decision tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we do have POWELL speaking at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So half an hour after a rate decision. Big moves will probably be happening intraday. If I had to guess, I think we're probably going to see new highs tomorrow over here on SPY. But, also in the after hours, we do have big tech earnings. Okay. Meta will be reporting after hours tomorrow. So we will have over here on Meta, and then we will also have over here on Tesla. Okay. So we have the big boys starting to report tomorrow after hours. So, jam-packed day, jam-packed week. Okay, so Wednesday going into Thursday. I won't be surprised if we have a nice, big, fat, juicy gap. I do think it will be to the upside. Tesla, as you can see, is, starting to turn around over here. Meta, I'm honestly not too sure what this is going to do over here. I can honestly, now that it's, ran, has not pulled back. It pulled back, but then rocket ship. You have run 10% the week before earnings. I can see this thing pulling back here off of earnings back to, 620 to 640. Put premiums, they're, in the money. If you have in the money puts, I think you'll probably make money. But, I don't think you're going to match the move that's being priced in over there. And then, on the upside, it can happen. It can. But let's just be real. It ran straight into, this big catalyst here. I wouldn't be surprised if the catalyst is now going to be used as a pullback over here or a retest. Okay, we'll see what happens. Okay, we will see what happens. But Tesla over here, I do think, is going to be getting a move up off of this. But again, we will see. You do have a nice little pennant going on over here on Tesla. And you are near the apex coming into this event. The event being earnings. And I do think we could potentially be seeing 440, 450 tomorrow if, Elon does not, say anything in the earnings call. Well, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know what he can say that would be negative here. He has a cabinet or he has a seat in the cabinet this time around, presidential cabinet. I doubt anything's going to happen that could be bad for Tesla. It's just not going to happen. They're trying to take away, the government help there around EVs. And I think that is not something to be bearish on Tesla about, but it's something to be bullish on because no other company is going to be able to survive. Tesla has built an infrastructure where they are able to survive. Okay. So, I don't think anything is going to be bad. I think he's probably going to touch on this. He's going to probably, hype up the company. But as long as Powell as well doesn't thank the market, I think this could be good over here for Tesla. I think as long as you just stay consolidating in this pennant or, come up to the top of it, 420 tomorrow, if Powell, decides to pump the market, I think Tesla can pump off those earnings. So those are my thoughts. Okay. Now let's resume the normal show over here with SPY. We'll start off here with the S&P 500. Solid close today, guys. You did close right here around the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. All right, so this is the golden pocket from the most recent, move down here when the market was going to collapse. But as we can see, the market did not collapse. We still have bullish structure intact. And I would go as far as saying, hey, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Okay, we have the same exact look over here on QQQ. But we will stick with SPY right now. All right, you were in the golden pocket, so, perfect spot for sellers to step in. But if you get above 607.50, we'll call it, hey, you're probably going to see 610.78 and then maybe even 615 in the short term. I do think we have a setup that could be bringing us to 615 to 620 in the short term. We will have to see how this plays out. But, jam-packed Wednesday tomorrow, so we're really just going to have to see where that brings us. But, hey, let's just look at it this way. You get a 1.5% day, you're almost at 615. If you get a, 2%, 2.5% day, you're at 620. I don't think we're going to get a 2.5% day, but 1.5% on a breakout, that's not unheard of. Over here was a 2.5% move. I don't think that's going to happen, but we will see. All right. I don't think that's going to be the case, though. All right. On the downside, as support tomorrow, 602.13, that is a big spot. We talked about that. Get above there. You're probably going to start making your way back up the high. So, overall, guys, this is a very bullish, chart over here. Bullish structure is intact over here on the daily chart. And on the weekly chart, does this really look all that bad? No. All right. But daily specifically, this thing does look like it could see an impulsive move to the upside here and bring us straight to 615, 620 in the short term. Potentially this week, we'll see how this goes. But if that does become the case, this monthly candle is going to close out above the last monthly candle that was just very bearish. And then over here on QQQ, potentially we could get the same thing going where you close out the month near the highs over here, 530 to 540. And, that sets us up to take out last month's candle this following month. All right. So, I even said, hey, potentially the top is in over here when this printed this. But as we could see, we're kind of just grinding higher now. All right. Come back over to SPY. So, yeah, support 602.13, strong level. Expect that to hold. But if that does not hold, we're watching 599.70, 597.75. And then we have... wrong level right there. We have 594.35. On the upside is resistance. You're watching 605.36. That is, high of day 605.37. We rejected 605.36. All right, 1 cent higher. That, guys, you have you correct levels when your chart looks like this. It's pretty, it looks pretty beautiful. I'm going to be completely honest. All right, level to level action. You get consistent reactions off your levels. That's what it should look like over here. Okay. Breakouts lead, to the directional moves over here, right? Moving level to level, all right? You broke above here, all right? You start really moving, and then, confirmation, you have that 602.13 level break above there. That's when, hey, all hell to the upside was about to break loose, all right? All heaven's about to break loose. Okay, inverse head and shoulders pattern over there. Upside 605.36, break above 607.40. Look for a move to 610.78. Then we're watching 615 and 620. QQQ, the NASDAQ, guys. Picture perfect, all right? This looks pretty beautiful to me. Inverse head and shoulders formation over here. All right, higher low over here. You closed right here on the short-term moving average right here on the daily 9 EMA. But, gap up above today's high, 523, gap up above there tomorrow. And I think you're probably just going to, again, it's going to depend on Papa Powell over there. I don't think he's going to rug pull us 2 times in a row. I'm not really sure how that's going to go. But I do think we are definitely set up on the charts. We're going to review, the Mag 7 stocks. They're pretty much, and the semiconductors, they're pretty much all set up to rip right now. Big boy Nvidia, guys, took off 9% day over there. I was trying to say, guys, this is a clear as day, easy money printer here, up to 130. We're about at 130 today, right? So congrats. All right, I'll hit this for anybody who bought the dip with me. All right, that was our most recent, nice size trade, money printer trade, like clear as day, okay? You hit this spot, I'll just review it right now, okay? You hit this spot on the daily RSI, you expect from that close over the next 1 to 2 weeks to see a 10% move, guys. That's something you can consistently catch every single time. I caught it over here, all right? And then, I got pretty heavy over here. I was looking for that pop. All right, we sold the pop. Guess what? Okay, you're getting that exact opportunity over here. And, although I do think we're probably going to get some selling tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We will see what happens because you don't really print a daily candle like this and just stall out the next day right above it. You typically are going to go to the next, clear level of resistance, which in this case is going to be the short-term moving averages up around 135, 136. We're going to have to see what happens. I think you're going to test the golden pocket here, which is between 136.50 and 142. I really do think you could test this potentially tomorrow. All right, so I think you could get up to 136.50 tomorrow. Expect rejection there, but, clear as day, you were buying 120, 121 with me when it was down here at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement from this whole move up. Well, this whole move up over there. Okay, if you come down here, you didn't quite get there, okay? You didn't quite get there, but this whole most recent, rally you had there, you've kind of just been consolidating here. You pulled back, and you had a 61% retrace, 61.8% retracement today. anytime over the last 2 years that you have came down here and tapped this 36, 80, we'll just call it like 37 on the daily RSI. This has occurred 10 times. Okay, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, a 9, and a 10. All right, so over the last 2 years, anytime you have hit this spot, you have been able to just literally long that guy with 1 to 2 months on your contracts, and you've been able to catch a 10% move over a 1 to 2 week period. Okay, it was kind of the gap up that was my tell this morning, and I was pretty confused when you started coming down towards the lows. I was like, okay, and then it started rocket shipping. I was like, there we go. All right, I had a few more today, and now I'm just sitting on it. And tomorrow, guys, before FOMC, this is my payday, and we're just gonna take some profits there and let some ride. Well, we're gonna see what Papa Powell says. But I plan on letting some things ride, guys. We have Mag 7 stocks just looking absolutely beautiful. Let's sit over here on QQQ and finish up with that before we get into what's really juicy in my personal opinion, which is those Mag 7 stocks. Okay, QQQ support, guys. You're watching 517.99, 515.58, 510.15, and then if that is broken, we watch 505.71. But by that point, it's too late. You broke down underneath the 0.786 bid. We're probably coming down to 499.70. All right, so break 505.71. You come straight down here. We're going to see what Papa Powell says tomorrow. You're right here at the short-term moving average, so perfect spot to reject. But without spies looking and everything else set up, I can't imagine this thing or all of these things just falling flat on their face. I think we're probably going to pump, and I'm going to be positioned for so. But honestly, guys, any play we've called out the last few weeks, honestly, most trades in the Discord that I've called out, pretty much all of them we've gotten to, pull 30 to 100% out of, over the past few months, except a few. All right, a few have fallen flat on their face, but honestly, give them time, and pretty much everything has came back. Maybe I don't always see them through, but yeah, I'm gonna be straight up. This market's treating us well, and yeah, I mean, this is picture perfect, guys. You had Meta. I was just kind of sitting over here. I was just like, dude, just freaking poke it with a stick. I was just waiting for this thing to explode. This is picture perfect, okay? Take off, the large position right before earnings, and now you just get to sit and watch the fireworks. I'm not holding it through. I was going to hold it through. I think I told you guys it was. I'm not. All right, and then the other thing you're sitting in over here, I got 2 other things I was sitting in just waiting, 3, but 2 with size over here. We had Microsoft. It was Meta, Microsoft. We didn't have too much of this, but specifically Apple over here, guys. Apple's coming back all at once, so this is why I'm a big advocate for just trade with time, guys. I was pointing out on over here and over here. March calls, guys. March calls. It's plenty of time to see these things actually bounce back here. All right. And if you're buying, 3 to 4 months out, I start, saying the video on that dip. April calls, free money. It's free money. March and April calls. You just got to wait for that $10 move to come. 10% gain over the following 1 to 2 weeks. Once this is hit, it's going to be coming. All right. A lot of these things, guys, they're setting up. You just got to be patient with them. And, I'm sorry, the market doesn't want to just, be trending all the time. A lot of the time, it's going to take its dear sweet time. And then in these, moves just like this, these large impulsive moves, if you had time in your contracts, that's when they all come back. That's when, something that could be down 80%, just comes back, or something, I'm just pointing out, like, this was the case over here with Nvidia, right? Worst case scenario, you're going to consolidate here for the next day, and then you start moving up. Every time you've hit this over the following, 1 to 2 trading sessions, you've bottomed, and then from this close, you've rallied, 10% over the coming, 1 to 2 weeks. Sometimes it happens, a lot quicker, as we could see today. It happened a lot quicker. You're already up 9%. You need 1 more percent to, fulfill what I was just talking about. And, guys, these are the little things that you can make a lot of money in this market doing. Real talk. All right. It's beautiful. My girl actually, she's asking me about puts. And when I'm down, because the market's just down, apparently she got a Nvidia put. She got 200%. I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud, babe. That's beautiful. All right. She ended up selling this thing, literally at the low over here, and flipped the calls. All right. So she flipped the calls. So she's, she literally got in at the low, sold the put, got the call on her own at the low. Like, this is pretty insane to me. All right. So, boom. That was easy. Like, she didn't even tell me about it. She's trying to learn this stuff on her own, I guess. Boom. And you know, honestly, that's the beautiful thing, guys. If you keep reviewing these charts and stuff like that, you know, I just in person, if you know me, I'll just always be talking about this stuff if you let me. All right, I'll probably always be kind of, you know, showing you charts every single day. If you know me in person, I'll just be like on my phone. I'll be like, oh, look at this thing. Oh, it's so beautiful. This thing's it's about to explode. All right. You know, I'm always looking at these Mag 7 stocks, you know, right now with how they're set up. Oh my God. Beautiful. Okay. But come back over here to QQ. You got the inverse head and shoulders pattern. Okay. On the upside, as resistance, you have 523, you have 525.97, 528.15, 531.24, and 533.82, guys. You know, if you start really getting above, we're going to call it 525.97, you're probably going to start pushing, you know, towards a new all-time high. All right. But, you know, SPY is the strong one right now. You have the inverse head and shoulders type of structure over here on SPY and QQ. Let's come over here to IWM and review what we have. We have a base. We have this range that, you know, built out here. You swept the low of the range over here. Okay. Came down to support, came down to the golden pocket, the 0.618 fib from the whole rally up there. Had the bullish divergence, you know, get printed over here on, you know, the break of that range, sweeping the low. All right. And boom, false breakdown. You came out, broke the downtrend, got above the short-term moving averages. You turn supply into demand. Second day in a row, you're bouncing back here. Okay. This thing's setting up. It's probably going to make a move. FOMC's tomorrow. You know, this thing's hypersensitive to rate decisions. Hey, all right. If they decide to cut, this thing's probably going to start heading straight for 233.40 up here, 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. I could see it. All right. So, you know, on the upside, resistance 228.04, 230.55 above there, 233.40, and then 235.92. This thing could be getting ready to make a move. So, you know, I'm watching it tomorrow. So should you. If you lose 224.66 tomorrow, look for you to start coming all the way down here to 222.71 and then 220.23 gap fill right there. Yeah, guys, it was leading the way and it's still going strong. I do think we are probably, well, you know, SPY was leading the way, but DIA over here, as you can see, it's going straight vertical on us. This thing is very likely going to have this daily RSI get into overbought territory and this price right here get over 451.55. You don't usually get this close to a new all-time high without, you know, pushing into a new all-time high. We have plenty of scenarios like this where you get pretty close to a new all-time high. You know, actually, this is just like QQ. You're very close here to a new all-time high. You're within $5 of a new all-time high right there, and you pull back, all right? Well, you know, this is very likely going to be a higher low pullback. Why? Because you got so close to the previous high over here. You usually just don't see it go down like that, okay? That's like DIA right here, okay? So even if we were to pull back, even if FOMC does drop us, guys, I think the dip gets bought. I think a DIA over here will hold this 431.42 to 433.20 zone, and then we will probably continue on higher after that. Just my opinion. So, you know, both times tomorrow, I think tomorrow the move is to take off risk into the event. You know, if we get confirmation, if we get a bullish FOMC, let's be completely real, guys. Let's take a look now. First of all, VIX, all right, crushed. It started bouncing at the beginning. We told you guys yesterday video, guys, we were prepared. Okay, we were prepared. You see VIX start to bounce, you expect it to get sold. All right, we expect VIX to crush. And we expect it to come down here, revisit 1571 over the coming trading session. That was the plan. That is what is going on. Why? Because the market's not crashing. You saw how VIX was behaving. Typically, once it starts selling, it's done with the bounce. Okay, start selling, it's done. It just dies. Okay. Oh, you're bouncing, you start selling, you start dying. Okay. Oh, you're bouncing, you're spiking massively. Oh, first big red day over here, minus 30% day. Oh, you're done. Okay. As we see, VIX was not holding that bounce, and now we are crushing, and now we're giving back most of the move. I expect us to revisit where we were the other day, probably tomorrow, honestly, but definitely this week. All right, now let's look at these things. First of all, NVIDIA, guys, I expect it. I was talking, you know, I'll pat myself on the back, guys. You know, this, Avgo, they have the same exact condition, pattern, whatever we want to call this thing. Whenever the daily RSI gets down to this specific spot, it bounces back from it. You know, this thing, I'm hoping this thing comes down or continues consolidating right here while NVIDIA goes. You know, I'm literally going to play, you know, what is it? Musical chairs? Yeah, musical chairs with, you know, semiconductors over here, guys. You know, NVIDIA just did that. Here's the thing about NVIDIA with me. Like, but you can also see if this thing comes and we get a week up here, is that going to be faded? Probably not. All right. Like immediately this, so bearish chart just turns uber bullish. Why is it uber bullish? Because you have a false breakdown now, and you're probably going to push the opposing side of the range. Typically, guys, when you get these false breakouts or false breakdowns, you will go then to run the other side of the range. You will take out everybody along the way there if you catch them. All right. They catch them with their pants down, and you then eliminate every single person along the way. And then, we're going to see what happens once you revisit the top of the range. But that's typically what we see with the false breakouts or false breakdowns. All right. Of this magnitude. Okay. That's actually very similar over here to SMH. It's a very similar thing over here. See how you had this range ever since here and here. Okay, so you had it established right here. What happened? You came down, false breakdown over there, and then you went back up. And what happened? You revisited the top of the range. You pulled back. What happened? You had a false breakout right here, and then what happened? You revisit the bottom of the range. It's the same principle, all right? If it's confirming that it's a false breakdown, which SMH just confirmed that it's a false breakdown, guess what? That's when you are likely to revisit the top of the opposing side of the range. So that's what I think is going to happen over here with semiconductors. I'm hoping Avgo just chills. All right. But, April calls over here on Avgo. I think those are going to pay clear as day, money printer over there. I think Avgo and Nvidia, they both have the same daily RSI condition right there. Okay. Over the past 2 years or so. We have had this, but Avgo specifically has this really bullish structure you built out for half a year here. All right. And then you broke up from that. So this is all one giant break and retest. Daily RSIs come down to the perfect spot. You have the weekly 21 here. Buyers, 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 buyers. Okay. And ever since then, you've had buyers ever since you were in consolidation mode. You broke out for years now. You've had these buyers since end of 2022 bear market. Around the 21. So I do think we're probably going to bounce back over here. Ideally, Nvidia gives you a fat payday. Avgo doesn't really move too much, and you just literally can put that same exact money into Avgo and run it back. That's how I'm kind of looking at that. Not that you got to do that, but that's how I'm looking at it. Make the money in Nvidia. That's how I look at all my plays, honestly. I don't like overstaying my welcome in something. I like playing something and then moving on to the next setup, and I will be patient on that for that to pay. And this is the next round of all of these are paying. Hey, all right, we're about to set up the next leg in the market. We're going to have momentum to go off of, all right? We caught the reversal. Now the next step over here is the, actual trend part of the market. Amazon over here specifically, guys, that's something I'm really focusing on. Over the past, we'll say 2 months or so, I've really been, hammering in on this with myself. Just focus on the strength, all right? And, what had relative strength yesterday was Meta and Amazon. They both had phenomenal days, all right? So Amazon specifically one that I caught off the open here. I actually added, 214, 240 calls, 214, 250C. It was 240, 250C. I wrote them up. God, I think it was like 40% around there in the end. I already had some 240C open for, February there. And, honestly, guys, I just got rid of everything today ahead of, we got a big day tomorrow, except I did end up holding the March calls. I think that's what I want to add. If we see a dip over here, I just want to add to the 250C March calls. Why? I should not, 315, 250C. That is what they are. That is what I am going to be adding over here. Why? Because I think this thing is, going to be in breakout mode. Let's look at it this way. Broke out to new high. You pulled back for only 3 to 4 weeks here. Broke out to new high. All right. And you keep in mind, you had a very explosive move following that. So that's the move I want to catch right here. And I think in the short term, we're going to be able to catch a $15, $20 move over here on Amazon. And that's my focus right now. All right. We caught the reversal part of things. We're now trying to catch that trend part of things after taking profit on some of the shorter dated calls. All right. And we transition into, I don't roll things out. I just kind of buy, further out things over time is, I'm always in that 2 to 3 month range. That's my, sweet spot there. But, over here on Amazon, guys, I think we're probably going to get a similar move to what we had over here. From here to the next top you put in, even that next week, guys, you catch this $11 move that's paying you, okay? get above that. That's kind of what we got going on here. We consolidated. We're in the same range here for now 5 to 6 weeks. So now more consolidation here after same exact setup over here. Pull back to the weekly 9 just like over here. All right, so above this high, I think we could go another like 17 bucks over here. Where does that bring you? 250, guys. So that's the target over here on Amazon. We are in breakout mode. It's the same thing over here on Meta. So let's now move over here to Meta, guys. By the way, dips into over here into 233. Those are what I like, and those are what I want to buy. Clear as day, relative strength over here. You got the bull flag breakout. You got the retest over here of this like little double bottom, triple bottom formation. Here's your neckline over here at 229.14. Retested it, filled that gap over here right at 226.51, right over there. That's where you had buyers stepping in. And, honestly, I think now this daily RSI is going to get into overbought territory, just like over here, and you're going to have a ride, okay? Same on a lot of these tickers. So Microsoft is the next big one that I think is probably going to be a money print over the coming months. If Powell does not run his mouth, does not tank the market, do not rug pull the market tomorrow, and Microsoft is going to be our money printer for the next few months. I'm going to go over why after I go over this Meta chart, okay? Meta over here, guys, pull back to the daily 9 on our big, market crash moment over there when, NASDAQ, I'm not going to lie, it was a little flash crash. Market does not do that normally. NASDAQ did not just tank 5% overnight. That's kind of crazy, but it happens, okay? We've seen it twice now over the past few months, and that honestly begs the question, guys, what the heck is coming next? We got a big thing loading, so keep that in mind, guys, that I'm a big, advocate. I was just pointing this out. Have that good start to the year. Right now, guys, we're in a buyer's market. Everything's cool. At some point, the musical chair is going to end, and, this is going to be bad, okay? It's going to be bad, and we'll be in a bear market, okay? Or you'd be in a no trending market, and that's a really frustrating market to trade. Take advantage of the really good setups we have. All of these, I'm pointing out these opportunities as we go, but take advantage of them, okay? Or at least learn from them so you can take advantage for the, rest of your life pretty much. Weekly chart, absolutely phenomenal over here. Monthly chart, again, absolutely phenomenal. We don't know what's going to happen over here with earnings tomorrow after the bell, but honestly, with how things are set up, I wouldn't be surprised if you just pull back a little bit. If you pull back to maybe 640, have that gap down, then that gets bought up overnight or something like that. I really don't know exactly how this is going to go. I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. But I can point out, guys, picture break and retest. We absolutely nailed this thing. Congrats if you were holding through this thing. We knew this thing had crazy bullish consolidation. At one point, you were going to get, the impulsive move starting up, that expansion following that consolidation period. And that is exactly what we have over here. Congrats if you held through it. I personally didn't hold for today. But, I hope you guys made some money off of it and had a good time. Okay. Meta, I do think, definitely bullish chart, bullish on the dip. I don't know what comes off earnings, but bullish on that dip. Coming over here to Microsoft, guys, this is the one I think is next up, honestly. I think earnings are probably going to give it a pop no matter what Powell does tomorrow with how this thing is setting up here, right? So, I cut my 450 seat today. I'm just holding the 470s here. I got a few of those guys. And why? Because I think this thing potentially could get up to 470 tomorrow after hours with how this thing is set up. I do think you get there, and at that point, they're going to be in the money and just move, pretty nice, all right? I don't normally hold through earnings, so this is going to be a fun little thing here. If this thing gets up to 456.16, I could so see myself just not holding it through earnings, and then, my streak will continue of just not holding things through earnings. But, really, guys, I think these charts are set up where this big tech earnings seasons, guys, these next 2 weeks could be explosive, all right? They could be some nice moves here, all right? Maybe not all of these move crazy, but, Microsoft over here, it would be very nice to see this thing pop up to a new all-time high, get above 468.35. At that point, guys, you are breaking out of years of consolidation, all right? Not years, but the last 1 year was spent in consolidation over here. If you break above that, that sets you up for one of these things where you can buy every dip. You're in a trending market, all right? And it's, if you set up for a few weeks like that, let's look at it this way. When you broke out of this consolidation, you had this trending move to take advantage of. Right now, we're in the beginning stages of that where you're still down here and you're not yet breaking out of that, okay? If you do break out of that, you get that, 1 to 3 week period, we'll call it, where you just can buy those dips. they continue getting bought up. And then at some point, like I said, I like to move on to the next thing. And usually, you know, while one thing is just setting up like this, like after it had that trending period, you consolidate for, you know, 1 to 2 months over here, maybe 3 months. Looks like 2 months there. But then you broke out. And then at that point during this stage, you could be focusing on something else. And then guess what? This thing then breaks out and you have another few weeks of trending, you know, to play that momentum there. That's what I'm getting at. This is loading here for us. We have this. We're probably going to consolidate after that initial move up. After that consolidation, we pounce on that. We play that thing, okay? You know, I do think, again, consolidation, you're getting ready for these larger moves to go down here. Microsoft's going to be setting up for us over, you know, probably over the next few months if we can get this initial breakout. So I am bullish on this. I'm really hoping for it. We're bullish, you know, since we scouted out this double bottom over here when it was literally right over here, 427-ish. I was bullish on this pullback originally, but then we got re-bullish over here. And, you know, I do think this thing has what it takes to get up here to new all-time highs, guys. All right, coming over to Goog. This is another thing that's setting up for a positive earnings next Tuesday. You have this nice little pennant going on here, guys, and I do think you get a nice pop out of Google over here. You know, honestly, I don't know how all these earnings are going to be reported. I really don't know, but I'll tell you right now for a fact, these charts are crazy bullish, guys. They're crazy bullish, and I am here to make money off those charts. All right, you know, I will see what the earnings reports are after they come out, but what I can see before is the charts, and these things are all setting up to go. All right, Google pop above 198.16, you could start heading towards 202.88. You know, picture perfect, this thing breaks out, you know, Friday or Monday. This breaks above this trend line, breaks above 202.88 here, gets a daily close above it, and then you get your move, you know, on earnings. On earnings. That would be ideal. All right, Apple, guys, you got above 237.23. You're above your short-term moving average over here on the daily time frame. You're above your short-term moving average over here on the weekly time frame. We talked about this, guys. You get above 235.10, you're probably going to push 237.23, and if you can get above there, reclaim that. That is when you start really pushing. You could start your larger move. Apple monthly candle back to the 9 EMA on the monthly time frame, but printed a hammer candlestick. As long as you hold where you are or push higher into the end of the month, this thing is going higher, ladies and gents. You just got to be patient for that move. This is why I'm saying, big advocate over here of buying time in your contracts. If you are going for a swing trade, all right, and you know you're sizing up on anything, these are the types of setups that I like. I love these, you know, Mag 7 stocks, the chip stocks, the things I know will be moving with the market. You could buy some time, all right, on, you know, something that's setting up beautifully for you. And then boom, you can catch that, okay? You know, you could have bought now at this point over here and you were just about back to break even over here if you were buying time on your contracts. This thing can start to really move over here. We're going to put on the golden pocket. All right. And you are probably going to test this golden pocket over the coming trading sessions. Okay. So honestly, if Jay Powell is to say something bearish, I think you're probably going to rally up here over into that event. And then he, you know, tanks the market from there. But I still think you get a pop to start off the day then if he's not going to give you a pop. But I'm going to be completely honest. I still can't imagine him tanking the market 2 times in a row here. And with how things are set up, I can't imagine this market tanking. All right. If it tanks, it's a buying opportunity, and I will treat it as such. I'm de-risking into the event. I think that's a great move. If you know you're making money into the event, why are you not going to de-risk into it? If it sets up how you want, you get the reaction you want, then that confirms that we probably are entering that, you know, next trending part of the market, and we can make money off that, okay? But, you know, these are the type of events that can really mess you up if you are, you know, holding swings pretty heavy into them. There's no reason to risk that if you don't have to, okay? Just think about it that way. If I don't have to do this, why am I going to put on this extra stress? That's how I look at this, and, you know, I think it's a valid viewpoint, okay? Apple, golden pocket, 244.50 to 251 incoming over the coming trading sessions, in my opinion. It's setting up. All right. Tesla, guys, we talked about earlier in the video, but you got this nice little pennant going on over here. I do think this is setting up. You're coming into the apex of it. You're bouncing right in the golden pocket from this whole move up. It's, you know, kind of a sideways slightly up grind over here, making higher lows over here, bouncing right off the trend line, off of the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. You come over here, hourly time frame does have this bullish divergence over here. You're bouncing back. So this is why I use the RSI, guys. You can always look back at history, okay? You could just mark out where on this hourly RSI are buyers stepping. Where is it bouncing back from every single time, right? And it's this spot right here that I have marked, 23-ish, that it continuously is really bouncing back when you're overstretched like this, okay? And in this case, you were overstretched, and okay, you're heavily oversold down to 23. It's pretty crazy. All right, so you're just like over here, but it's even better because you also put in a bullish divergence while you're down there overstretched. So you know you're very likely about to get a snap back. I think you get a snap back tomorrow. All right, and we see the hourly RSI come, over into overbought territory over here, and then potentially we see a move up, gap up tomorrow off of those earnings out of this pennant. And, ideally that's what happens. If you can gap up over here, I think you're probably going to, maybe pull back off the open, get profit taken. All right. And then, end up putting in a lower wick at the end of the day and start pushing. Okay. That is how I think this could go over here. All right. If bulls are to step up off of earnings, we will see how all of this goes. Big week, guys. Big week. All right. Let's talk about the chips, guys. You swept the low of the range over here. False breakout, and then you swept the low of the range. All right, you came down, got the close underneath it, and then declared it a false breakdown the next day. Closed out with an inside bar hammer candlestick, and that's pretty crazy. Okay, pretty crazy what's been happening over here with the chips. Avgo over here, guys. This is the one I was saying. It's just like Nvidia with that daily RSI getting down to where it almost got to yesterday. If it dips down, downside is limited, because if it gets down there, you're about to snap back. You're about to have, I don't remember the exact percentage move that we would have over here over the coming 1 to 2 weeks, but it's the same exact thing. When I went back and, back tested that, you get that decent size move over. It's definitely 10% or more over the next 1 to 2 weeks every single time. All right. On the weekly chart, we could see, half a year consolidation over here. See, look at this. It's the same exact thing. You had this consolidation. You're in the same exact trading range, 4 months over there, 5 months, 4.5. You broke out, you get a big move. Then you consolidate in the next trading range for half a year, broke up, you got a big move, and now you're consolidating, guys. But this is a pullback. This pullback is a buying opportunity, just like over here. Worst case scenario, you come down to 185.16, and you start really bouncing back from there. Okay, that's a big break and retest level. All right, so honestly, I'm planning on buying this thing heavy. Come tomorrow over here on Avgo coming into this event. I don't know if it's going to come down here, but then again, last time I had that thought, it was right over here. It was right on this day. I started buying Avgo calls early, all right, and then, it started getting towards the expiration. It was like I had an expiration right after earnings over here, and I was tight that I didn't hold through because you had a $40 move the next day, $40, $50 move, pretty insane. But right before earnings, I got to experience this little earnings pump right there. But I had to sit through this little, red, that little pain. Do you want to sit through the pain? Do you want to risk that? All right. And that's why I say, screw the pain, buy time. All right. Buy 3 to 4 months out. This is kind of, it's not guaranteed, but this is kind of, with how this thing is set up, it's not guaranteed. But I'm going to say 9.5 to 1 odds. Yeah. Between here and down here, that marks a bottom before you come back up here. And you can easily catch that move if you choose to do so. All right, the move back up to 220 is probably going to happen over the coming trading sessions. POWELL pumps the market. That's probably what comes. All right, 220 to 230 tomorrow or Thursday. We'll see. ARM, guys, finding buyers right here on the trend line retest. All right, where you also finding buyers right there on the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level of the golden pocket. All right, golden pocket, 0.618 Fibonacci retracement to the 0.786. And if you need help, this is how I have mine set up. There you go. But you're finding buyers right here. You got the trend line. You have the short-term moving average. You have the daily 21 right there. We can see on the weekly time frame, you also have the short-term moving average right there. This thing just broke out of consolidation. It's retesting that. Expect buyers here, guys. Everything is set up bullishly. I don't know what to say about it. Expect buyers over 150.14. Look for a move to 156.40, and then 164.16, and then 173.23, and then all-time highs 188.75. MU, guys, is the one. This is the bad apple here. I'd say don't touch this piece of garbage. Don't touch it. All right. See my arrows, follow the yellow brick road. Get over 115, 114.80. You're going to come to 130. Okay. Get under 84.91 and hold under. All right. You know, I want to see two closes under there. You're probably coming down to 74.77. You know, this thing's not set up in a bullish manner over here. It's the only chip stock that I'll say really just looks like crap. I would not be trading it. I'm going to be completely honest. Would not be trading it. TSM, guys, found buyers right here on this trend line. 2 touch points right here, right here. Found buyers on it, as you see. You know, found buyers on it yesterday. Today, we're getting that, you know, follow-up to yesterday's, you know, buyers stepping in. We're getting that confirmation. Yes, we want to step in here. Not just that little dead cat bounce. You are now underneath the weekly 9. I want to see this week close above here. It is going to come down to Powell not making the market crap the bed, and then big tech earnings here not making the market crap the bed. It's going to come down to that. You know, all of these honestly are going to come down to that. But as you know, you could see, just like I could see, all of these are set up in such a crazy bullish way. I highly doubt we're about to, you know, see a massive downfall right here. Here's the time where, you know, you make your money into it, take some off into it, take most off into it, ride some, maybe you get some big gap ups, you know, overnight off of, you know, Wednesday earnings, Thursday earnings. All right. We got some big earnings. All right. You got Apple, I think on Thursday. I think it's, you know, lone soldier over here, just Apple. You know, big stuff. Okay. Big freaking stuff. And then after that, but, you know, if those don't take the market has a green light to go. So, you know, just do what you got to do for now, guys. TSM buyers expect sellers around here. We're going to say 208 to 212.60. You get above 212.60, you probably are going to make a new all-time high. We're just going to mark that up 226.40. AMD, guys, just like MU, bad apple. I wouldn't be trading it. Support 114.45, 111.31. Resistance 117.90, 121.83. That's all I'm going to say on it. Bitcoin, guys, honestly, it's not behaving how I would have thought after printing this nice lower wick over here. But because we did print the nice lower wick, I do think it's going to hold. All right, worst case scenario, you come down to the golden pocket and bounce. But I do think this is about a hold. We had the 4-hour RSI already hit oversold territory. So if it comes back down into oversold territory, I'll just put an alert right here. I'm expecting it to bounce. Okay. So either the bottom's in or it's going to come down here around 97K, come a little under 97K, maybe 96.5, 96K, and it's probably going to start bouncing back. We will see what happens over here. But, you know, for these, you just kind of, you got to wait. All right. Bitcoin's got to start up and move for these things to really move. All right. So this is MSTR. You got this little trend line building out right there. All right. You could see 4-hour RSI. It's almost in oversold territory. Over here on extended hours, it's also just about in oversold territory. You're in the golden pocket, you know, you're probably going to get buyers. Okay. So those are my thoughts over here, guys. But, you know, focus right now for me, at least, is on the Mag 7 stocks. Those are the things that are going to be moving the market. Market is clear as they set up to rip. These are the things that, you know, easy money right now. Okay. These Bitcoin stocks, they're just extra if you're trading them. Okay. And trade them with time. I like March calls. Honestly, I think February calls are going to do well. But at the same time, you know, if you could just take the stress off your shoulders, get the March, get the April calls to play any of these moves to speak of, I think you're going to do yourself, you know, very well. And I'm sorry if you don't trade options and you got to hear me talk about that stuff all the time when I'm talking about these charts. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess it's a good thing. It's an educational thing. And if, you know, that's your thing, you're going to find great benefit off it. But if you don't trade them, you just trade shares, you just hear from the charts, I'm sure it gets annoying. So I sincerely apologize. But I am going to say, okay, they can be very beneficial and they can, you know, off these simple moves, you can continuously pull in 100 to, we're going to say continuously pull in 50 to 100% gains on every single one of these moves we talk about. Okay. Coin over here, guys, you found buyers over here yesterday and you're just kind of holding today. It's looking better than, you know, what we got over here on MSTR. It's looking better than that. I found buyers off of the golden pocket yesterday, just like MSTR, but now it's holding up here. If you can reclaim 293.60, get above there, at that point, I think you start pushing into the golden pocket. But at that point, I think you're going to start pushing up to highs. It is going to depend on Bitcoin over there. I would not be touching the miners. Just my warning there. I just wouldn't be touching them. touch MSTR and coin if you would if you would like, but these miners, I don't think they're really going to be doing you well. Okay, we can come over here to Hut. What the heck is this thing doing? Piece of crap. Come over here, Hive. What is this thing doing? Piece of crap. All right. Now, just a little update on some of my trade ideas over here, guys. I think this pullback right here that's happening, I think you could pull back for another day here. I think you were going to have another leg up and you hit this 976.30 level here in the short term. Weekly charts really starting to turn around over here on cost. You could see pulled back to the weekly 21, found buyers, found buyers, found buyers, found buyers, found buyers. Found buyers. Ever since you broke out over here, I think this is not going to be an exception. I think you're going to find buyers here again. Well, I mean, you're already finding buyers, but I think you're going to find a bottom here and move back up the highs from there, just like what has happened every single other time. All right, just stair stepping up. Just wait for an impulsive move to happen. It's probably right around the corner. I know you kind of had the impulsive move over here, but, at the end of the day, you weren't up all that much. You're probably going to have in one straight go at some point after this consolidation, you're going to have this move take place. This 5% move up to, above $1,000, new all-time highs. Okay? Uber over here, still consolidating this range. I was, thinking it was probably going to be getting the daily close yesterday and today over there at 68.84. Got to get the daily close above 68.84, and at that point, it's probably coming up to 73.55. All right? Next one. And last one, first of all, I'm going to point out SPX calls, guys. This is the second day in a row you had like the largest, order come in. It was on SPX. You had just 350 mil come in yesterday on SPX calls for April. Today you had that over there for March calls, I think. But, Queb, I'm just going to point out, guys, people are getting bullish on Queb over here. China has the green light right now with how things are setting up. This is the index. You could see the weekly chart, but what's really bullish is the monthly chart. The monthly chart is about to close out like this in literally 2 days and 23 hours. So 3 days, guys. All right. Come Friday, this thing is going to be closed. If it closes out near the high of this candlestick, this thing, the next monthly candlestick, probably brings it all the way back up to the highs. At that point, guys, I'm putting BABA back on the watch list. All right. Holy sweet baby Jesus. I pointed this out before it goes. I just want to point it out. I don't trade all the things I point out, but I know for a fact I put it on your radar right here coming into this week. It was one of the setups I mentioned. All right. It was one of them on the weekly update. BABA is freaking exploding right now, and I am absolutely flabbergasted. Yeah, it was one of my trade ideas. I have the list right here. I had BABA and I had PDD. What is PDD doing? Nothing. Well, I'm not going to say it's setting up for, it's probably going to have an impulsive leg up here right around the corner. But as you can see, it's not doing anything compared to what Bob is doing, up 6.7% on the day over here. All right. But just a little update on some trade ideas over there. We gave you cost at the beginning of the week. All right. We gave you Uber at the beginning of the week, has not moved. We gave you PDD. We gave you BABA. All right. We gave you Schwab. What's going on with Schwab? Just kind of doing a whole lot of nothing. Pullbacks are buying opportunity still. BA. All right. We gave you BA coming into this week. What happened? Big move. All right. But it was earnings over there. All right. Roblox. We said if you want to go with the strength, this is one that keeps getting bought up. Well, what happened? All right. You did end up getting bought up. All right. Off the big gap down. And then you didn't even close down on the day. Okay. You focus on the one with strength. This is how you get treated with respect to you. The chart respected you. All right. We're Upstart. What's going on, guys? It's still setting up over here. Okay. This thing is setting up for a move. Bulls are starting to regain control over here. Come over to HIMS. You got the gap down, but what happened? You had the massive move up after that. All right. You had the Monday gap down, get met with buyers. And intraday, you had a 9% move. All right. Focus on the one with strength. You're going to have a good time. All right. We gave you Meta. What happened then? Boom. We gave you Coin. Didn't do a whole lot of anything. Microsoft. Yeah, we saw a bang out of that one so far, okay? Honestly, guys, and the move I gave you over here on Microsoft was the move above 456.16 and then to 468.35. All right? But little did we know the market was going to have a freaking flash crash, Black Monday, to start off the week, okay? But, as we could see, the ones we pointed out, guys, a lot of these guys are showing the strength. And, they're treating us well over here. Disney over here, guys, above 113.74. We can see that move start up to 116.12 and then 118.63. I'm really liking how this is looking over here on Disney. Really clean chart over here on the daily time frame. You do have earnings right around the corner. We'll see what those bring. With that being said, ladies and gents, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I know it was a 50-minute video, but I hope there's a lot of value packed up into this video. I hope you received that value. I hope you guys are killing this market. I hope you guys are going to continue killing this market. I'll hit this for us.
That was easy.
If you want to come trade with us, link is going to be down below. I'm just telling you right now, I'm mainly a swing trader, and I like to trade 1 to 2 months out. That's my sweet spot. And, recently I've been going even with 3 months. All right. But, I put on a good amount of positions. I get a good amount of trades going. But yeah, if you want to come trade with us, that link will be down below. And you can use code META for 50% off of your first payment, whatever plan you would like to do. All right, guys, love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love this community we got, guys. Honestly, I love making these videos. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.